What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast, episode 68, which you can catch live over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011 every first and third Saturday of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern, unless we pre-record it like we might be doing right now. If you want to go over there and catch it live, you can join on the chat, join on the conversation and the topics we're chatting about. We'd love to have you guys in there, bouncing off your opinions and whatnot. If you can't catch it live, remember you can always catch it over on YouTube and SoundCloud the following Friday, where it's put as one big video and MP3 for your amusement. Remember, guys, this is also brought to you by the merch store. You can get all of your swag over there: t-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand, support us. It would be greatly appreciated. So for today's episode, he's making his return. It is Uberbrent. It's been a long time solo-wise, we realize, since he's been on. Group-wise, it hasn't been as long, but he's back in the saddle again, and we're glad to have him. Brent, thank you for being on.
It's the bumpiest saddle I've ever been in, but I like it.
Hopefully it smooths out. Just give it some time.
It's good bumps. It's good bumps the whole way.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good then.
It makes me feel things inside.
Ooh.
Good things.
Good
Things, all positive.
Nice.
I look forward to these.
Yeah?
I keep trying to get something set up, and then everything falls apart, and then I feel terrible.
No.
And then you use whatever magic you have available to continue to pump out shows.
Somehow.
I'm just like, I don't know what he does. I'm glad I'm not the decision maker. I would be annoyed at me right now, so I'm just gonna keep trying.
Nah, it's all good. We had a solid episode last week. We had to throw some stuff at the wall, but it stuck, and we had a pretty good podcast there. So, it happens.
Sometimes those are the best ones.
Yeah.
Though. Like, you just fly by the seat of your pants and magic happens.
Exactly.
Nothing you can do about it.
Exactly. But yeah, I wanted to get you back on for a solo cast because way back at episode 39, we talked about
60 episodes ago.
I know. Oh God. We talked a little about anime, and one of my topics today is I kind of wanted to follow up with you about what I have watched since that time. And maybe also just kind of follow up with you what you've been watching, obviously, because you consume a lot of anime. Just what you've been what you've been watching,
Come on.
and stuff like that. So since that time, I've watched a couple things. So I did
about this.
I did dive into My Hero Academia. I did talk
good.
about like hearing good things about it, and I did dive into that. So Kate and I have watched season 1 up to season 3. Now I know season 4
through season 3
up to like the end of season 3. So I know about spiky, weird face looking naked man and his power. That's all. I don't know. So I know season 4 is going right now, and I think it's coming up to a close. Who knows? I don't know.
It's done.
Oh, it is done.
It's not all dubbed yet.
Fuck. Well, there's our problem.
There's like 5 or 6 episodes left.
Okay.
To be dubbed.
Okay.
And they're slowly dubbing it. Like they're legitimately getting all of the voice actors on Zoom calls.
Oh, gotcha.
And they're like making it work. It's incredible.
So yeah, I know that's out, and then we decided to wait on that because
until the whole
until it's all done, because we don't think we're gonna be able to handle waiting week to week like we did that with what was the final season of Game of Thrones, which I know people got numerous opinions on, and that was my first season of waiting week to week with it. But no, we decided to do that. So far we've avoided spoilers. I saw one note about, now I'm terrible with names, there was some big episode with the rock hard edge dude that he did something, but that's all
Hiroshima?
I know. Sure.
Red Riot?
Yeah, there you go. So I know he does something, or something happens with him, but that's all I know. He does a thing.
I will confirm that right here.
Oh my God, guys,
On
we're getting exclusives.
Of the Wait What podcast, Hiroshima has an episode. He does a thing.
Wow, I'm hooked.
He does a couple things.
Oh, what's up, stragglers? So, can I crank Bret up? Yeah, I can do that.
Crank me up.
There we go.
Should I talk louder?
So yeah, we haven't been spoiled, luckily, about that season. So we've watched that, And then Kate also wanted to watch Attack on Titan because that's one of her favorite animes. Now, I had a history with Attack on Titan. I watched the first 2, maybe 3 episodes.
And you didn't keep going?
I did not because I
That's
was
incredible.
laughing my ass off at the main character. I was like, he's like, actiony. He's gonna save the world. He gets his ass eaten, and I was just like, well, what's the point of moving on?
That's what made that so. Like the first few episodes of Attack on Titan are so wild because it establishes Eren. I'm Eren. I'm edgy, and I've got Naruto personality. Not Naruto, but like whatever edgy Sasuke character. I've got his personality, and my life is so hard, and I hate everything, and goes through that whole thing. So like, all right, he's the main character. Whatever.
So
and then like episode 3, he gets his ass eaten. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, well, fuck it, whatever.
Character ain't supposed to get eat. That's weird. That's crazy. Like it just it kind of casts this like anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Don't expect anything. And I have to say, I'm current with the anime, and that goes places.
Yeah,
it goes some real places.
Yeah, so we gave that a second try, and we're caught up to where that is currently. We had a little Hulu issue where there was no more dubs, and then we had to Funimation it, but we got there.
Yep.
And then what else? Oh, we watched Death Note. That took...
You just watched Death Note?
Just watched Death Note.
Wow.
Now,
okay.
That was another one that I've just tried recently, or last couple months, whatever. Yeah. I tried it, and I did not expect Light to be what Light was. And I was like,
yep.
What the fuck is going on? I was just like, I can't take this guy seriously. I pushed it through, and we kept going.
He kind of sets him up. He's got like a charisma to him. He's got like these rock solid convictions about how he sees the world and his role in it now that he's got this power. And you kind of fall for him a little bit. Like even you kind of buy into the rhetoric. It's like, well, he's killing criminals. That's good. and like it's when he really starts to become unwound that you're like, oh wait, this guy sucks. This guy really and like how you see him manipulate people. Yeah. It's so interesting because that show is from the perspective of the antagonist. Like very few shows do that.
Yeah.
And it even like plays with the morally gray aspect of it to an extent where you're kind of half rooting for him. But like when L shows up, you're like, oh man, L's going to catch this guy. It's going to be wild. And like it's just a battle of wits. Yeah. And Light is just playing with a stacked deck.
Yeah, so we watched that one all the way through. We did stop originally when L finishes, and then just before the 2 successors come, and I was like, what more? Fuck, God, stupid. It just felt like we were rehashing, so I took a break on that, but then maybe a week or 2 ago we finished it, and I finally saw the most glorious thing in anime history, Matt Hardy's inspiration for Delete. The guy at the end, I was like, oh my god, just my mind exploded, and Kate's like, what are you doing? I'm like, hold on, I gotta pull up a video. Bah! She's just like, what?
Delete. And you can just see him now. You can see, I don't remember that character's name in the show, but like he writes it and like flies off to the side, and you're like, there it is, that's the Delete. Yeah, no, that's 100% what that is.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I don't know if he's ever confirmed it, but I can't not see.
I tried researching it. I couldn't find anything on it. So, but yeah, it's too spot on. Yes, Lee, this is full spoilers for what I have seen. So, we're not talking spoilers for My Hero 4 movies. But yeah, obviously, if I've seen it, then I'm just going to keep going because I assume Brent's seen it. He'll tell me if he hasn't. But
probably.
Can we talk about where the Titans come from? Sure.
Holy shit. That was just that, like, everybody got really super down. Hey, look, it's Jeff Reg.
Hey, Jeff.
Everybody got really super down on Attack on Titan when they started, like, going away from the Titans and getting into the political stuff.
Mm.
But I thought that just made the world and everything so much richer and so much more interesting. And then when you get the full payoff with where the Titans come from, like it just makes so much more sense. And you're like, holy crap, this is so intense. Like this whole like the island that they're on, where the walls are, and the whole story takes place, is just a small chunk of this world that they've just been throwing people and turning them into Titans and just like pitting them against each other. It's like what a I I specifically remember those last maybe 4 to 5 episodes. Like I would get home from work, or no, it was on Sunday, so it was like I would wake up that morning and like rub the sleepies from my eyes and then just anime spoilers. That's probably smart. And then I would like just jaw drop for 30 minutes as I'm just because like not like from the second they get to Aaron's basement through the end of that season, it is a roller coaster ride. There's no stopping it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not gonna stop for anybody, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel a lot.
Yeah.
You get a lot of feels.
Now, Brent, I do have one question. Where the fuck is the whale titan that we saw in the intro for season 2? Bullshit.
I'm telling, like, all I have the feeling, and I don't know this. This is unconfirmed. I know the manga's out there. People know the answers to these questions. I don't know this. They are gonna get their asses on some boats. They're gonna build boats. They're gonna get their asses on boats, and they're gonna go to the mainland, where it's just a bunch of regular people, and then they are the Titans that are attacking the mainland to take back everything, and it's gonna completely flip everything. They don't got ODM gear, so they can't flip through the air and cut napes and stuff. They're screwed. Holy shit! I'm so like it's gonna be, cause Aaron, you got Armin has the colossal power now.
Yep.
There's got to be more. There's still more people from the clan of the like where the Beast Titan came from and all of them. Like there's more people
Right.
on this island. If they can band them all together and storm across the Pacific or whatever that is, I don't know. I don't know if that's a real landmass or not, but that show has gotten consistently better and better as it's went on. And I didn't think that was possible because season 1 was just almost perfection.
Yeah, it was really good. We're really enjoying it. So yeah, we'll have to see where that goes with its own. Is that season 4 too? I believe so. Yeah.
I think that was season 3 because they had like these weird splits. They would do like 12 episodes and then go off for a while.
Gotcha.
Then do 12 episodes, but they would call it like season 3 2 or something like that.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's all goofy.
Let's see. And then I listened back a little bit through our last podcast, and you recommended High Score Girl. So I literally just started that today. I'm only 3 episodes in. I'm enjoying it so far. I like it. Was everything you said it would be.
It's a slice of life. That takes getting. It took me a long time into we'll call it my anime career, for me to get into slice of life animes. But now I'm deep. Like, I'm watching some weird stuff, and not weird like Japanese.
Weird.
Like, let me be specific. I'm not watching Interspecies Reviewer, which, if you know what that is, that's a whole thing.
Is that the other Netflix one? That's like, or what was?
That's the one that they were showing it on Funimation. First of all, I did watch Bunny Girl Senpai, and that's not a weird show. Got a weird name. Rascal does not dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. A weird name, but it's a very good show. Yeah, not weird, just weird. Exactly.
Right.
That's probably the best way to word it. Like watching just stuff like, oh, this person's going to high school and they're into the piano. Like that's the setup for the show. It's not like titans and monsters and superheroes. No, it's just this guy likes the piano and he used to play it really good. Now he doesn't play it so good. Then he meets someone and it gets him to play it good again. That's Your Lie in April. I just finished watching it. Incredible. Interspecies Review. I don't know how they got. Yeah, that was a show that it got picked up by Funimation to stream exclusively on Funimation.
Uh-huh.
And then they even got it to the point where they're like, we're gonna simul dub this. And they got 3 episodes into the show, and they're like, wait, this is hentai. and then they canceled it. Like,
wow.
Straight up, it's. I watched 1 episode because there was a lot of hype surrounding it, and I'm like, this is just hentai. this is not meant for Funimation.
Jeez,
yeah, that was a.
Yeah, I feel there was another one.
That was a kerfuffle.
It was. I think it's on Netflix that just a lot of people were talking about. It was like some furry type thing. Interspecies. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Beastars is super good.
Oh,
you
yeah.
got to get past the furriness of it.
Okay.
It's coated with furriness, which, I'm not gonna yuck anybody's yums here, but like, that is the audience that show is made for. But the show is really good.
Okay.
Like on top of all of that, it's not just like, hey, here we're gonna make a horny beast, furry anime. What they did is they made a horny furry anime and then gave it a great story. So like they executed on all levels.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Beastars is really good, and you have to get over some reservations initially, but story is very, very good.
All right.
With High Score Girl, how are you liking the integration of like Guile and Zangief and like they are as much a part of that story as anybody else.
Yeah.
Which is great.
So like I said, I'm only a few episodes in, but I remember, or I listened to your description of again how you're like how they integrate the fighting game scene in there and like their different games. And episode 1, they're talking about turtling strategy and all these other things. I'm like, oh shit, all right, cool. So like,
it is legit.
Yeah,
it is legit. Like that. Like as time passes in the show, it'll tell you the year and the month, and they're like, oh, this game just came out. You're like, wait, what? And then you go look it up, and yes, it did. And he bought it, and he's playing it, and it's that would have been me growing up in Japan. I have a pretty good feeling. Socially awkward, plays a lot of video games. That probably would have been me.
But yeah, it's been good. And then yeah, episode 3, it like took a turn with one. I assume, I think it's a girl character. They went to some theme park, and they're supposed to like pair off, because one popular kid wants to get with Ono, and like he's like joking around like, maybe I'll get to second base, even third base. In the previous episode, they're like confirmed 6th graders, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And the one girl's like, I gotta check your penis to see if there's a bone in it. I'm like, what? No, stop it.
That show is so great.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I love that show. And Jeff Regg's talking about the finale of season 2. I'm obviously not going to talk about it, but holy shit, I was a weepy mess throughout the entirety of the last couple episodes of season 2.
Didn't season 2 like just drop recently?
Yeah, within the last couple weeks, I want to say.
Wow. Okay.
Also, Jeff Riggs tried to get his wife to watch Food Wars because she likes cooking.
I feel like you talked about this last time, Jeff.
Like Food Wars, like Foodgasm is personified and like literally shown in this anime. Like it makes me uncomfortable. The level of foodgasm that these people go through.
Oh boy.
Japan's weird.
Yep.
But what, like any other? You're touching on some pillars of anime right now. I love it. You watching that Death Note, watching My Hero.
Yeah. Attack. I think that's all of them. I think those are the 4. Maybe a lady will have to jog my memory, but I think those are the only ones so far. But yeah, I'm looking forward to more My Hero and finally diving into season 4. And that's another one like I want to rewatch too, like just binge that going into it.
I've watched My Hero 3, 4, 5 times now.
Well, since we haven't talked about My Hero, but yet, Shota's my boy.
I love Shota. I don't feel like he gets the attention he deserves sometimes. Like they focus on him in a couple seasons and a couple spots, and I'm like, I'm a big Shoto guy. Like, and then he just kind of fades into the background a little bit. But
man.
wait till the end of season 4.
Okay, yeah, I liked
like nothing has happened yet, but they're hinting that Shoto's gonna take like a fucking prominent role.
Yeah, because I liked like he was kind of creepy at the beginning with this whole sleeping bag gimmick, and I was like, oh geez, I'm not gonna like this guy. But then like how he starts, obviously he's teaching the kids and stuff, but that one scene where I am terrible with names. The Nomu shows up and like they're fighting in that terrarium area where they're training.
The USJ. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Like him whooping ass in there and taking names. Him at the fucking the summer camp with the cat girls and the cat guy. And then I thought it was, like, it's totally not action oriented, but I like the like in season 3 how that mechanic girl from the other school, or is she a mechanic? I think she is. But like they used to have a thing and he's all like blowing it off or whatever.
Oh.
I was just like, this is great.
So you're talking about Aizawa, the teacher.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, you said Shoto, and that's the Todoroki, the half hot, half
Oh,
cold
no,
boy.
I'm sorry, Shota.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's yeah. I like Aizawa a lot, and I agree. Like he comes off as really like weird and harsh, like overly harsh, and I thought he might get a little one note. But no, they definitely they use him in a really good way. Like they never feature him, but he's always there giving good pushes to the students.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess so. There's another manga going on besides My Hero Academia called My Hero Vigilante, I think it's called.
Okay.
And it's other characters in the same world.
Oh.
And it's a little bit before the events of My Hero Academia. But I guess Aizawa plays a big role in that.
Cool.
So if you're ever looking for some ancillary content with your boy, it's out there.
Cool. Let's see. Who else is there that's in there I'm really enjoying. Okay. Deku, I get it. Like, I know he's the main draw. Sometime, like, season 1, there was a couple, I think there was like 5 episodes. The first 5, I was like, oh boy. Just gotta keep going, because he is such a crybaby. Every single thing. I'm gonna go with it. And it was like, I get it. Stop crying, please. So him, I'm like, I'm growing on as he's obviously growing up. Let's see. Kate really likes Birdman, which his name is somewhere.
Tokoyami.
Thank you. She really likes.
I don't know why I know these names like they're my friends. It's kind of bad.
And he's.
Oh, you mean Tokoyami? Oh, him, yeah.
She also likes Sue, which Sue's great.
Nobody can not like Sue. Sue is pure.
Let's see. We did almost give up on episodes 1 through 5. We did.
It's understandable. Like Deku is definitely that's like a big shonen trope, and you see it in like most shonen shows. Like the main character, I don't know why, but they're just like, well, he's got to be super annoying for people to like him. And it's like you look at Black Clover and Asta, the main character, he just yells for like 30 episodes. He has no plot progression. He just yells a lot. And you're like, this sucks. And then he starts like growing up, and he still yells a little bit and is annoying sometimes, but like also can be cool. And Deku cries, and Naruto's like, believe it! Just gets all like way up in your face about stuff. It's like there's just like I don't know why, but like they feel like we have to give him an annoying quality to get you hooked, and it's like, no, you could just make him cool.
Naruto
never stops.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's kind of accurate.
Hmm.
I still love him though. He's
Hmm.
grown on me enough.
Let's see. I like Stain's look. I think that
Stain
was
is cool.
yeah.
I do like Stain.
Just for comedy purposes, I think it's Mehmet, the little purple dude.
Oh,
He's hilarious. I love him.
grape juice.
Yeah.
Just starts throwing his
Mm-hmm.
balls. You gotta watch. Have you seen either of the two movies yet?
I was tempted to go see the more recent one. I just
Yep.
never actually got out to go see it, but no, I have not.
So
Fine, he is
you're
my
at the
favorite
point in the
character.
story where you can watch the first movie,
Okay, cool.
because that takes place. I want to say it's in between seasons 2 and 3.
Okay.
So you could definitely watch that. The anime is not actually caught up to the newest movie.
Right, that's like down
So like
the road, right?
yeah, so like if you watch the second movie, you're gonna see some shit that you're gonna be like, wait, what? You know, like what is that? Why is he doing that? Or like why is his character?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but like it doesn't spoil anything.
Anything.
No. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Amajiki is current best character. Amajiki is awesome. You haven't met Amajiki yet.
Okay. I think I've seen
Yes,
some,
you have. Yes, you
have.
have. He's one of the big three.
one of the big three. The
So like
older classmen people?
yeah, the upper class. So there's
Okay, so there's Naked
Mirio,
Man.
who's Naked Man.
Okay.
Mirio is Naked
There was
Man.
a girl, right?
Yep,
and then there was the kid
her
who
name is
didn't-
escaping me.
And there was a kid who didn't talk much.
That's Amajiki.
Okay. Is that the octopus kid? I've seen some images of some tentacle ass kid. Okay, cool.
There's more to his power than that.
Okay.
I won't spoil it, but
That's his main feature.
Nejiri. Yeah, that's it.
All right, cool.
Jeff Riggs over here fact checking us. I love it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, that show's great. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on season 4 because season 4 is very good.
Cool.
Season 3 I think is still my favorite because season 3 just has the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the United States of Smash. I was like crying with excitement when that happened because it was like so fucking good. Like he's lost everything and he's like puts it all into one last punch and he's like, it's because I haven't put my back into it. And I'm like, ah. Christopher Sabat's a freaking madman. Love him.
The festival, is that the tournament, Jeff? Like at the
Nope.
No, it's
That's
a different one.
season 4.
Oh, my bad. Well, never mind.
Yeah, there's an actual festival.
Gotcha. B, we got to rewatch all those. I know. I just said that to Brent. We're planning on rewatching them. I'm down whenever you're ready to go. I don't want to watch it without you because then it's gonna be like, you watched it without me, and I'll be like, I wanted to.
You gotta rewatch it again.
Because yeah, I'm gonna need a refresher. I mean, I can barely remember anybody's name now, so I mean, I gotta study up.
Yep. Yeah. They'll come to you eventually. It just
Eventually.
becomes a thing at some point.
Exactly, lady. I know you'd be mad, so that's why I haven't done it.
He's calling his shots over here, lady. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I've really enjoyed that show a lot, and I didn't expect it to like as much as I did. So now
That's
knowing the hype that everybody's talking about, I'm like, all right,
It's-
cool.
Yeah. And just imagine being in a spot where you're watching it week to week, like I was.
Yeah. No.
Like, imagine starting the fight between All Might and All for One,
Mm-hmm.
and then having to wait a week in between, like when they start the fight and when they actually fight.
Right, and
That was painful.
yeah, I can't imagine. Like, Lady and I have been watching. We've been watching more Rooster Teeth content, just in
Sure.
general, and they have a live action show they're doing right now, or well, I guess like, well, yeah, that makes sense. They're doing like a comedy competition against each other called Last Laugh. So they're
Okay.
like 12.
I've not actually watched it, but I've seen
Okay.
it advertised.
Oh, okay. So for those of you guys who have no idea what I'm talking about, it's 12 people in a room, and they each have 3 strikes. If they smile, laugh, do anything, they lose one of their lives, and it's like last man standing style. So everybody's trying to make each other laugh. Obviously, you don't want to laugh yourself, and then they get some money prize at the end. watching that week to week, like there's 2 episodes out now. It's like every time for some reason I just check to see what the timestamp is. It's like there's a minute left. I'm like, no, there's only, oh no. It's just so shitty because you're like, I just want more. This is great. Just keep going.
That's me watching like every day. Every day there's another. Well, not right now because most shows are being postponed and canceled, so it's a sad time in my life. But like that, like there will be seasons where it's like, all right, on Monday I'm watching this, and on Tuesday I've got Black Clover and Ace of the Diamond, which is a baseball anime. I love baseball anime, as it turns out. It's real good. Well, it takes like 4 to 6 minutes to throw one pitch because he's like hyping it up, and you got to see what the catcher thinks and what the pitcher thinks, and then the batter goes into his backstory. Even though he's not a real character, he's just there for that game. But it's got to show you his backstory and what he's went through to be in this moment, and it just makes everything so hyped. It's ridiculous. Baseball the anime.
A full episode for no pitch.
That's pretty much what it is. And that's the thing. Here's what they'll do is they'll spend 6 minutes on one pitch, and you'll be like, this is gonna take a whole season to do one inning. And then like they get to the crescendo of that matchup between the pitcher and the batter, and then with the catcher doing his thing, and then they'll be like, all right, now it's the 6th inning, and you're like, wait, what? What happened? What happened to the bottom of the first, and then the other 5 innings? Like they're just gone. So it is super hype though when, and you feel for like, I'm about to go into it here. When the pitcher, like it's super authentic because the pitcher has a whole season where he's got the yips, which is a legitimate thing in baseball where a pitcher just loses their ability to pitch correctly because they're in their head. And like there's a whole season dedicated to the yips, and then it's like, oh my god, like this is super authentic, this is ridiculous. And then they go back and you're like, all right, it's the first game of the tournament, he's over the yips, he's now the starting ace, and then he pitches his first game and is bad, and you're like, oh no, we've wanted this for so long and we get it finally, and he's doing terrible. Like your heart just melts. It's terrible. It's terrible, and I love it.
So speaking of things you're watching, what are you watching currently?
What am I watching? So like I say, there's not a lot of shows right now, so I'm trying to go back and watch some that I missed.
Okay.
I just finished watching Your Lie in April, which the slice of life anime about a guy who's good at piano and then isn't good at piano, but then meets someone who convinces him to be good at piano again. That's what that is.
All right.
It's really great. It's 22 episodes and you'll cry the whole time. So good. I'm watching. So I just finished that. I just rewatched Death Note, so it's funny that you would bring that up here today. Started rewatching Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
There's a couple new shows I'm watching. So Black Clover's still going. I did watch the Ni no Kuni movie. It was actually a lot better than I thought it would be. I had very low expectations for that. Currently there's a show called Tower of God, which is really interesting because it's like they've not explained almost anything about what's happening. Okay. It's one of those like just throwing you into the middle of it, and there's like weird lizard dudes and swords that and powers that have this whole like there's a whole explanation for how it works, and they just kind of gloss over a little bit, like not to be obtuse, but because it's so normal in this world and the character that you're following is not a part of that, so he's confused, so it's keeping you confused on top of it. It's like, but like he's going through these different trials because he wants to get to the top of the tower so he can be reunited with this girl who took him in and did stuff, I guess. It's quite good so far. Let's see, what else have I watched? Kaguya-sama, Love is War, season 2 is going on right now. That's a really good slice of life anime with like a very strong female protagonist and a very strong male protagonist. And the whole point of the show is they're in the student council, and they're just trying to get the other one to admit that they like each other. Like they both like each other and it's obvious.
Yeah.
But the idea is whoever confesses first loses the advantage.
Yeah.
And they're both such strong characters that like there's no way they could lose the advantage. So they keep setting up traps to make the other one admit things about why they like that, and that one's real good. Recently I watched Dr. Stone,
Okay.
which is super good. That's a recommendation for you. It's
All right.
like there's no magic. Like there's a magic-esque thing that happens that kind of sets the plot in motion,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no like power level of any kind.
Okay.
It's all based in science.
Neat.
And like there are whole episodes where he's like, we need to make a cell phone. And then they're like, all right, well, how do you make a cell phone? Because he meets like these kind of primitive people. And like there's no modern technology whatsoever. So they don't understand it. And he has to describe what it is.
Okay.
And then he's like, well, first we have to learn how to make glass for the glass part. And then we got to do this. And then we have to make receivers and then transistors and antennas. And we need copper wire. And it's like, you watch them make all this stuff and it just comes together so sad. It's I don't even care if there's a plot in that show. There is. It's real good. But like watching them go from not having like anything but sticks and stones, and then he's like, yeah, exactly. It's like I can make a cell phone now. I know all the steps involved. It's really great in that regard. I love Dr. Stone. That one's fun.
All right.
I also watch Fire Force, which is a anime about firefighters that fight fire with fire.
Okay.
Sounds real dumb,
Cool.
but it's got some hype moments, and it's got a banger of a intro from season 2, or not season 2, but like the second half of season 1.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that song is a banger.
Okay. Sidebar. Speaking of banger songs, going back to My Hero, what the fuck is with some of these theme songs that we got? I was just like, no, this isn't hype for a superhero show at all.
The first couple OPs are not that hype.
Mm-hmm.
The one that you just had is like, that one's my favorite. It's the one where like all my like I keep my ideals, sore.
I think
And
that's
like
the
All
one.
Might's hyping up. Like that's the most recent one that you would have seen.
I think that's the one I like the most. I have it liked on YouTube. I'm
That
looking
one,
it up right now.
that one's definitely my favorite. I
It's got like a part where it kicks in and like.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's very
Okay.
slow, and then it gets super hyped up and it's as All Might's like.
Okay. Yeah.
Like,
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. That one I'm like,
That one.
yes. The rest I'm like, what?
Yeah, the first couple are
and the
pretty
endings too. I'm like, this just.
I don't know what it is. Like I've never been an endings guy. I don't like. They're very, very seldom is an ending as good as the OP.
Oh, for sure.
But I think it's because the OP is meant to get you like really hyped up.
Yeah.
And the ending is just like calm.
Yeah.
Piano music, and it's all the characters running in the sand. In most shows, I feel like that's what it ends up being.
Yeah.
So I don't know. OPs are where it's at for sure.
All right. Okay, so sorry, reverting back to where we left off. Just had to take that tangent.
My God. No, that's totally fair. I don't even know if I'm watching anything else right now. It's like I started watching. Oh, Fruits Basket season 2 is going right now.
Okay.
Which is an anime about it's a slice of life again, but the overarching. Oh God, Death Note's got some real hype songs. Fruits Basket is an anime. It's a slice of life, but it's got this magical component where all of the boys in this family and some of the girls are the zodiac animals, and if a member of the opposite sex hugs them, they revert into that animal.
All right.
Real good.
Okay.
Real good. Trust me.
Is it like one twisted game of tag? They're just avoiding.
Well, there's some love elements in there.
All right.
And that complicates things.
Of course it does.
As usual.
Yep.
The lady's over here losing her mind.
See, I thought
she's all about it.
I know she's bought some manga like one of the visits she was here, and I thought it was that, but I was like, I don't remember.
I wish you turned into a cat when I hugged you.
I don't think cat's a zodiac sign, but okay.
It is.
It is? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, question, maybe a dumb question. Do they revert back if they're hugged again? Or is that spoiler?
it just wears off after a while.
Oh, okay.
They go back into their human form, but then they're naked.
Oh, no.
Because their clothes fall off when they turn into
Of
an
course
animal.
they do.
And there's hilarious hijinks where she accidentally hugs them, and then she like waits by them, and then oh shit, they turn back, and then there's the fog, and they're nude.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right.
Turning into animals makes me think of Ranma 1/2. Ranma 1/2 is great. Ushigi Yugi. I've never actually watched that before, but I'm super familiar with the name. Yeah, I think that's about all I'm watching right now. I've got Tower of God. I've got Fruits Basket. Ace of the Diamond ended. I watched Haikyuu, which is another sports anime,
Okay.
but it's about volleyball.
Okay.
And again, like one of the best arcs in any shonen anime is a tournament arc where it's like, all right, now we're gonna go through this tournament bracket. They do it in every shonen anime. Well, imagine if the whole show was about a tournament arc, because that's what sports is.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's hype all the time. Ugh. It's definitely Haikyuu if you wanna get really excited about volleyball.
Okay.
I've actually learned things about how they play volleyball because of that show.
So you can have fun and learn.
Exactly. I didn't know anything about the mechanics of volleyball. Like it's gotten to the point now where like the ref is doing things, or like the side judges are like waving flags, and I'm like, oh, that's in. Like, yeah, I don't need them to explain it. I just recognize it from the rules of the game now. It's kind of bizarre how anime will do that to you. But I think that's it. Like those are some of the big highlights of what I've watched lately.
Cool.
Urusei Yatsura? Oh, Demon Slayer. You gotta watch Demon Slayer.
Okay.
That's not what he said there.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Demon Slayer is Kimetsu no Yaiba. But Demon Slayer is very good. It's got a fantastic like visual style to it.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
cool.
And the OP is a banger.
All right.
It went triple platinum in Japan.
Oh.
like legitimately a good song. It's
cool.
by Lisa. Lisa's the best.
All right, so we got some recommendations. We got Dr. Stone, we got Demon Slayer, and apparently Fruits Basket.
Fruits Basket. Get it.
Oh boy. So maybe we'll have to have a follow up to this one again and be like, oh my god, what did I watch? And I know Lady also wanted to revisit Dragon Ball, so maybe that will be something that
Dragon Ball Super is very good.
That. Well, she wants the like OG, like their kid Dragon Ball.
Oh, are you going the whole way through?
I mean, I'm down. I watched most of Z, and I have most of them on DVD.
Oh, yeah.
But I know she wants to watch Dragon Ball, which I've only seen a few episodes of. So
worth going through it. Whole deal.
Yeah.
1 million episodes, but it's worth it.
We got time.
I'm still plugging through One Piece at a much slower pace than I was before, but still 570 episodes in.
Oh god.
Still staring down another 400 and something, but
Godspeed.
yeah. I'm gonna need this quarantine to last another 6 or 7 months if I'm gonna finish that.
Mm-hmm. We'll reconvene. We're all 40, and we finally finish Dragon Ball. There you go.
yeah, exactly. Oh my god, lots of panty humor in OG Dragon Ball. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of it.
Master
Lots
Roshi.
of not even just for Master Roshi, which is weird. Like he started doing it in the original and still does it.
Right.
Other characters were also doing it. So it's you got Oolong, you got Krillin, you got Goku. They're all making panty jokes.
All right.
Bulma tends to be the butt of every one of them.
Figures.
Yeah, makes sense. Speaking of Dragon Ball,
Yeah, I know.
Capsule Corp.
Cool. All right. Well, I think that wraps up anime follow-up. So, Brent, what is your topic for today?
So I want to talk a little bit about our I almost said anime. Jesus.
We're going again.
Hey, look, start over. I got things to say again. I want to talk about our backlogs a little bit.
Okay.
So obviously, the world is happening
Right.
around us. The ever-waking nightmare. Uh, but like this has put me in this really unique position to be like, guess I'm gonna play through a zillion video games, right? Like that's kind of been what I've been doing for the past what, I don't know, 180 days. How long have we been quarantined at this point? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
So it's kind of made me look at some things that I 3 years.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Pretty close. I'm pretty sure it's still March like 104th right now. So, but yeah, no, like this has put me in this like unique position to be like, all right, I'm gonna play through all of these games that I've just been like collecting a little bit, and I'm gonna start really hammering down on these and firing through. So I guess I'm curious, like, obviously I know what I've been playing recently, trying to tear through the backlog, and a couple of old fires have been rekindled courtesy of this too, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm curious what you've been playing and what you've been doing.
What I've been
That's like, have you revisited old franchises? Have you like started something new, or are you just kind of trudging along through some of through recent games? Like, where have you been in all of this?
Gotcha. Yeah, I was definitely on the same track of like, oh well, now I have all this time to play games, and it was also the timing of it all was I was transitioning from one job to another, so I also had this gap of time where I had no responsibilities before shit really hit the fan. So yeah, it was just kind of like, what have I started and just never got around to finishing it and tackling that. So I was actually posting like every week on Twitter like what I accomplished that week or whatever. So since I think just before like shutdown started to happen, I've beaten the Spyro Reignited trilogy, those 3 games, and platinumed them.
Wow, all 3 of them?
All 3 of them. I did Medieval, the remake for that. That's platinumed. Let's see. I started Devil May Cry 5. That one's kind of tapered off. Not because I wasn't enjoying it, but just other things came up with Animal Crossing and other stuff.
Oh boy.
On stream, Resident Evil 2 remake. We finished that. We only did Leon A, Claire B, so we haven't done the flip-flop, but I'll probably do that on my own time. Let's see. What else was there? I think that's it. So not all that much. Like, I've played other stuff, like putting a lot of time into Animal Crossing. We beat RE3 on stream. Playing FF7, which we're going to get to later, on my own. I mean, it's technically backlog. We're playing Okami on stream now. We're about like a quarter of the way through on that game or something like that. If how long to beat is to be believed. So we'll see.
That's a game I've wanted to love it for a long time, and I don't know why. Like, I keep picking it up, and then I don't know if I just keep losing it or losing interest or something. I don't know what it is, but I cannot get myself to play through that game. And like everything about it is something I, in theory, should be super in love with, but I don't know.
Do you think it's the pacing of it?
I think so. I really don't know what it is that keeps losing me with that game, because I've legitimately started it like 3 times.
Gotcha.
And every time I just bounce off for one reason or another, and it could just be bad circumstance. I'm starting it at the wrong time. But yeah, no, that is, and I love the art style. I love the gameplay. Like it's a Zelda-esque game.
Right.
Like in theory, everything about that game should be right up my. It's Japanese culture, which is a big thing. So this never sits well with me, and Same with Darksiders, which is really weird because that's also like a Zelda-esque
Mm-hmm.
third-person action game, and I like started it twice and got a good chunk of the way in and just completely lost fire. I don't know what that was about.
Mm-hmm. Um, but yeah, I think those are the only ones I've actually sat down and played. Like I've played other games. Like I was really big in Apex Legends for a solid month, and I'll pop in there every once in a while and still play that.
Sure.
I already mentioned Animal Crossing. Um,
I think everybody on
yeah,
this planet is a little bit deep into Animal Crossing
yeah.
right
I
now.
got I got FOMO from that. It's like shit. Now I gotta get a Switch. All right, fuck it. We'll give it a try. There's other games definitely over there that I want to play. Like I mentioned, Devil May Cry 5. I want to play more of that, but it's also one of those things. I'm like, man, I'm having so much fun with this. Do I want to stream it? Because I streamed the other ones, and I was
Sure.
like, maybe I should just save it for that. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, I played for like a hot minute, and I was like, whoa, this is gonna be super, like, grindy, or like I got to spend a lot of time in it. So I
Sure.
kind of want to play that. So that might be like next down the list for just myself.
Mm-hmm.
Disgaea 5 is something I want to jump back into as well. It's
That's
similar to what you said with Okami. Like, I enjoy everything about it. It's just
Yep.
something, I don't know if it's like the next game, like, just happens and I just drop it like a bag of
Yeah.
bricks or whatever. But that's one I definitely want to jump back
This
into.
guy is. I have a weird history with that series because that was another one where I bought. So at the time there was Phantom Brave, Disgaea, La Pucelle, and Makai Kingdom was the other one. There were like four of them from NIS, and they
Okay.
were all like these super deep tactics esque RPGs. There was Phantom Brave too. There was a fifth one. Um, but like I played through La Pucelle, loved it, super into it, just like tore that game apart. And then I went to Disgaea and I same thing, just kept bouncing off, bouncing off, bouncing. And I'm like, there's something in this game that's not connecting the right pieces of my brain that's getting me into this game, and I don't know what it is because
Mm-hmm.
it's like tactical JRPG should super be up my alley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I like all the characters in it.
Yeah,
I like where the story's
Laurel and
going.
Etna and
It's just like, I don't know, maybe it's just the grind. Like I think I was talking about it the other day, but like
there's
it's a lot of grind and it's a lot of the same
there's
level. Like I was comparing it to another game that I absolutely fucking love, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance on the Game Boy Advance. Like, yeah, that was a grind, but like every battle seemed a little different, whether it was the map or it was the people you were fighting, kind of thing. I think that's what this guy is missing. Like obviously there's the different levels that you can do, but like
yeah.
it's the same enemies every time. They're in the same spot. Like it's just like I don't know.
I feel a little bit like Disgaea has a problem in that there's not much variety in their characters. Like, yeah, there are different classes and stuff, but like ultimately you get to a point where you're just building up like the named characters
Right.
and they're just this kind of cardboard cutouts of the same character.
Yeah.
Like, I have a huge mega attack that's in a cross. I have a huge mega attack that's in a circle. You know, like, there's not a lot of variety in the characters. Whereas you look at something like Final Fantasy Tactics, and it's like, okay, I've got a white mage and a black mage and an archer, and I've got a thief, and I've got a knight, and then I've got my one name character, Ramza or whoever it
Hmm.
is, depending on which game you're playing. But like, there's variety there, and there's like actual tactics as opposed to just the tactics portion of it being a grid-based combat system.
Hmm.
Like I never felt that I needed to do anything tactical in Disgaea, if you know what
Right.
I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's all I've been playing. So, what's been your backlog journey there, Brent?
So this kind of started a little bit at the end of last year
Okay.
because I always like doing just a retrospective in my head at the end of every year, like what were my favorite games of the year.
Hmm.
So there were like two or three games that I was missing that I hadn't like finished yet. So I kind of wanted to go through and do that. Um, so like that's what prompted me to finally play through Control, which was fantastic.
Mhm.
That's what finally prompted me to finish up um, Judgment,
Okay.
and then I picked up Dragon Quest 11,
Okay.
Control Game of the Year 2019.
Yeah, Jeff loves
I
that game.
It wasn't my favorite game of it was on the top 10, but it wasn't my favorite game of the year. But it was, and I'm just gonna say one phrase, and Jeff is gonna know exactly what I'm talking about, and it's gonna mean nothing to anybody else. But Ashtray Maze just blew my mind right out of the back of my head. It was ridiculous. Um, so then I picked up Dragon Quest 11 after after having sat on it for forever.
Mhm.
It's just this game that, again, in theory, I should be super into. It's a JRPG. It's the character designer from Dragon Ball. It's like what is not to love here? And then I think I was playing that at one point while I was streaming, but then something else came out and I started playing that on stream, and then Dragon Quest just fell onto the back burner.
Mhm.
Um, so I played through that, finished that finally, which was really great. And then I was trying. I got caught up in the same thing everybody did. Oh, Valorant came out,
Mhm.
and you got Call of Duty Warzone, and you got all these battle royales you're trying to play through, and fell into that trap for a while too. But one game that I didn't initially have on my backlog, that I actually just started playing this within the last. When did I? I think I started playing this game on Sunday or Monday.
Okay.
But it's The Legend of Heroes: Trails of Cold Steel.
Okay.
So this is a game that originally came out for the PS Vita,
Mm.
and it's, again, just JRPG,
Mhm.
nothing too crazy there. But like, I think for a long time I've kind of fallen off of JRPGs to an extent. I don't know what was holding me back, but like that was my thing growing up. Like that's all I looked for.
Yeah.
I remember when I was making the decision between, am I going to get the Sony PlayStation or the Sega Saturn, which RPGs are on each, because I want the one with the best RPGs.
Mhm.
And then Final Fantasy VII happens, and it's like, okay, well, this is a no-brainer now.
Right.
Um, but like that was, do I have 60 to 70 hours of free time? Well, as it turns
As a
out, yeah.
as a kid, yeah.
Because, well, even now, like,
Mhm. True.
I, you know, I don't think it's the time investment that scares me off of JRPGs, because I play Souls. I
Mhm.
play every Souls game that comes out all the time because I'm playing Neo 2 right now, which
Oh,
is
cool.
super good.
Yeah.
But like, it's not the time investment. I don't know if it's just like how slow it is, or if I've just aged to a point where I like that more actiony style. But I just really fell off hard on JRPGs. Like, could never finish one when I would start one. And I want to say like that's been my biggest like renaissance throughout this whole thing, is like got deep into this Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel, which, let me tell you, game's real good, fun game, JRPG. It's got some Persona-esque things to it where you're going through days and there's like a school setting and all that. It's like Persona to an extent. But this Legend of Heroes like saga, there's Trails of Cold Steel 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky 1, 2, and 3.
Oh,
And then
okay.
there's also a third Legend of Heroes thing, and there's 2 or 3 episodes of that. So there's like a, a s- uh, too many games. There's too much. So I'm staring down the barrel of being invested in this whole world that I didn't even know existed until literally a week ago.
Right.
Um, but yeah, like between Dragon Quest and now this Legend of Heroes, and then I'm playing Trials of Mana, which is another game that I never finished as a kid. Like I remember downloading the ROM and an English translation patch back when I was in like 6th or 7th grade.
Mhm.
playing it on my computer on the keyboard, like just a million years ago. And again, loved Secret of Mana, but never got around to finishing Trials. And then I re-downloaded the Mana collection on the Switch last year. Never got around to playing Trials of Mana. So I bought it again, the remake that just came out a little bit ago, and I'm actually starting to hammer my way through it now. It's super good, Jeff Reg, in case you're curious.
Nice.
Kind of a action RPG sort of thing, but
Okay.
yeah, no, it's been super great. Like the positive, I guess, I can take away from all this nightmare this world's a part of right now is like it's really rekindled my love of like playing JRPGs and has really gotten me to go back and play some of those things that I just kind of let die on the vine, I guess, you know, like of course I'm still playing new things. I'm playing Final Fantasy 7, which we're getting there. And I'm playing Persona 5 Royal and I'm playing Neo 2. And you're probably asking yourself, there's no way you can play all these games at the same time, and you're right. I've got Resident Evil 3 just sitting in a box downstairs, like ready to go. Don't have the ability to sit down and play it on top of watching all the anime and working, and it's just it's a lot.
But... yeah. Question about that: how? Because you're playing those numerous games at a time. How is it like balancing, like, just giving each time to play it? I guess. Because like when I'm playing something, yeah. Because like I don't know, I gotta focus on one thing. If I start trailing over to the other one, then that one's gonna supersede and take over the other one, kind of thing.
So I would like to start by saying terribly.
Okay.
It's not. I'm not doing well at all. That's the real answer. The problem is I'm just being inundated with new games that I'm like super interested in and into, and it's like I've got that thing in my life. I don't want to call it FOMO so much as like I guess it's FOMO at that point. Like I just like to be a part of the conversation. I want to be able to talk about the things as they're happening. So if I purposely, you know, even in Resident Evil 3 Remake as an example, like I think I watched somebody stream it a little.
Yeah.
But like I've not touched it, so like I've not had anything relevant to say about that game, and I just hate when a conversation breaks out about a game thing that I'm excited and I'm just like I can't. I guess it's kind of a FOMO thing, but I don't know. It's what I'm passionate about and what I love to talk about. You know, I talk about it all the time. So it to answer your question, I've been doing a terrible job at staying on task with all of these different games and all of the. But it's just slowly making your way through it. You know, it's like
for sure.
I'm playing games enough that like once I'm done with Trails of Cold Steel, you know, before I plunk down $40 to get stuck into another 60-hour game, I'll go back and finish something else, and then I'll come out and do it again or something. So like everything that I've got sitting down there, I'm excited to play. So I like there's nothing that I think is going to fall by the wayside, if that makes any sense.
Let's see. Jeff said it's weird. I feel like when Red Dead 2 came out, everyone was talking about it everywhere, and I don't know if it's because of quarantine or what, but I was expecting that with FF7 Remake, it's not the case. You mean like people aren't talking about it? Because I disagree with that. People are talking the shit about it. Maybe it's just people I'm following. Like a lot of people in the Kind of Funny community obviously are doing their podcasts and whatnot about it. Like I know Trevor Stark, he's a big one. He's like, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to put all my words like into this thing and whatever. And Kyle Stevenson's been really into it. And then outside of that, like Maximilian dude, this is like his, like a lot of people, game that he just wanted. And like I've been avoiding it like the plague, not because obviously I don't have that connection to it, which we'll get to, but I've been avoiding it just because I want to experience it myself. But like I'm looking forward to going to Max and seeing his playthrough of it and experiencing that. But then on the other side of the coin, you talked about Resident Evil 3. Like that was one I was like, I watched the whole thing, then I played it. I was just like, I don't care. So, I don't know.
Like, there's nothing about Resident Evil 3 Remake is gonna surprise me. Like, because I played Resident Evil 3 multiple times. So, like, I know the beats, I know the story beats, I know what happens. You know, I just need to see how it happens in this game. And you know, if that makes any sense, because that's really the only difference at this point is like, how does this game portray all of the events of Raccoon City versus how it did it in the original? Like, I've already seen the part where Jill gets knocked out, and that's when Resident Evil 2 happens. So like,
Gotcha.
I think in this one it's you're fighting Nemesis and he's like running around on buildings or something.
Yeah.
And then he knocks Jill out because yep.
She like
So,
takes a 5-hour nap, whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
But Carlos
that 5-hour nap that she takes, that's Resident Evil 2. Like during that time,
okay,
while she's asleep.
Cool.
So like, I know how all of these pieces fit together. It's just now I want to see how this game portrays all of it and explains it. And that's the only part that I've seen so far is that fight and the subsequent aftermath.
Gotcha.
And Jeffrey, I feel like the Red Dead thing is like that game. Anything that's made by Rockstar kind of transcends games to a small extent.
It's more of
like,
that casual audience, for lack of a better term. Like GTA is the same way. Like people talk about GTA. Casual. So yeah, I don't know.
Resident Evil 3 is the best line I've heard in a video game, though. Like the original or the remake? Here's a fucking weird door. Okay, yeah.
Don't
I like
that.
Yeah, no, that's been a journey I've been on lately, and it's been pretty awesome to revisit a lot of these things and rekindle a lot of old loves, which I guess can walk us into our next topic if you like. I've exhausted the the backlog things I had going on.
Oh, that all sounds good. That all sounds interesting. And yeah, I mean, who knows how long this thing is going to go on. So, I mean, we got some time to figure out what we're playing next. And like you mentioned pre-show, like, or pre-recording, like, more games are coming out. Like, fucking Last of Us 2, which personally I'm not too invested in. That's coming out. And then, what was it, Ghost of Tsushima got announced too? So, like, more shit coming out, and there's just always that constant balance of like, okay, what are we playing?
yeah, I mean, you know, I want to get that Streets of Rage 4 tomorrow. No, Friday when it comes out, because Streets of Rage. I like Streets of Rage, and this one's getting great reviews, so I'm gonna pull the trigger on that one. And then a month after that is Xenoblade Chronicles. Chronicles, right?
Not sure.
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles.
Okay.
Remake of the first game is coming out for the Switch, and I loved the first game, so I'm gonna play through that game, which is only 80, 90, 100 hours worth of content.
Yeah, there's more remakes. Like Saints Row 3 drops soon in May.
That one I'm gonna avoid.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Like I liked the game, but I've played through it, and it's not to me, it's not on a level as like a Xenoblade Chronicles.
I hear you.
So
yeah, that one I think will just be a fun walk back through time, and then
for sure.
Destroy All Humans comes out in July too, so I'm looking forward.
Oh
to
yeah,
that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yep. So
man.
Keep coming out. But yeah, more backlog stuff. We'll find time for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, there's lots of time.
Yeah.
Good God. The whole Earth is gonna be a wasteland by the time I'm done with all this stuff. It's ridiculous. Be a bombed out Fallout 3 apocalypse.
Oh boy.
There's just gonna be a shelter made of trash, and you're gonna open a door, and there's me just like, I'm almost done with Trails of Cold Steel.
Finally.
Oh God.
But yes, on to topic 3. So we kind of alluded to it in topic 2, but I kind of want to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, Jeff, I know you're doing it on your YouTube channel, and I'm pretty sure you're past me. We're not going to talk spoilers too much, except for where I'm at. It might be like the anime thing. Like, we'll talk to where I'm at type thing.
Yes.
But my more focus... Chapter 7. Okay, yeah, you passed me. Good, because I just hit Chapter 5. My more focus of the topic was I was interested in knowing... It's not going to be a nice short way to kind of put this in a topic, but whatever. I wanted to know the experience... people who have played the original on PlayStation 1, how are they experiencing the remake compared to someone who's pretty new at it. Like, I only played a few minutes of the other one. I don't even know, but I was a kid. I barely touched the surface with it. How our experiences are differing and like what you're getting out of it, because obviously what you're getting out of it, I can never have that, at least for this game, clearly. Whether it's goods, bads, whatever, because I don't have that prerequisite of, something to compare it to. So, just overall, how are you liking Remake, or how did you like Remake? What was your thoughts?
So yeah, I guess I'll start by saying I've finished Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay.
Kind of like I alluded to back in the second topic, Final Fantasy VII is what pushed me to get a PlayStation over a Sega Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
And I have dear memories of going to Family Video, renting a PlayStation and a copy of Final Fantasy VII, not knowing anything about memory cards. And bringing that game home and getting halfway through disc 2 without saving because you can't.
Right.
So like if I die, it's all over. There's no checkpoints. There's no nothing. You have a memory card to save your game, and if you don't have one, you start over.
Yikes.
Like that's context for where I started with all of this. And of course that Christmas, that was my big gift, was, you got to open these 2, but you got to open them in this order. And it's like, okay. So I opened the first one. Oh, it's a PlayStation. Open up the second one. Oh, it's Final Fantasy VII. This is the best. And I've been... So that's the funny thing. I opened those 2 presents at my grandma's house. That was my gift from Santa. Santa hit me up for those.
Nice.
Shout outs to Santa.
Woo.
So he got me the PlayStation and the Final Fantasy VII, and I went up to my mom and I'm like, Mom, this is a disaster. I don't have a memory card, and I'm gonna be right back in the same boat that I was when I rented it, but back in the summer. And she's like, we'll see, maybe he'll figure it out. And of course, then we go to my house for presents the next morning, and she's like, open this one first. And I'm like, it's a memory card. We've come full circle. I can save my game. It's going to be great. So, like, I've been a Final Fantasy guy since, I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. Like, I had an older friend who I went to his house, and he was playing Final Fantasy 2 or 4.
Okay.
And I remember renting the game prior to that and being like, I don't know what's happening. This doesn't make sense to me. I'm too young for this. And then I went to his house and saw him playing it, and he's on the moon, and he's fighting giant monsters, and his dudes are all decked out in this crazy armor and stuff. I'm like, okay, this is great. I have to figure this out. So from like literally that day forward, like that was the genesis of my love for JRPGs. Not even just Final Fantasy, but JRPGs. Because before that, it was like, I'm gonna play Blinks the Cat or Ristar, whatever, Super Mario. Those were my games. So I get Final Fantasy VII, played it like back in '97 when it came out. I think it was '97. Sounds right in my head. Loved it to death. I've played it several more times since then. So I just referenced Ristar. Yeah, because Ristar was awesome. That game was so good. Um, so for me, you know, fast forward a few years, PlayStation 3 gets announced, and they're like, "This is the power of the PlayStation 3." And then they do the intro Midgar train sequence from Final Fantasy 7 rebuilt in PlayStation 3 CG and everything. And I'm just like, what if they actually remade this? This would be incredible. And then I watched that 1,000 times because I'm like, this looks perfect. You know, right from Cloud flipping off the top of the train and landing, and then he's got a sword, and I'm like, oh my god. You know, just like a wave of nostalgia just crashed over me when I saw that. But I'm like, they'll never do this.
Mhm.
This would be suicide if they actually made this. And then fast forward again to what was it, the Year of Dreams, E3 2017,
Something like that, yeah.
where they just like, you guys want Shenmue 3? We're giving you Shenmue 3. You want Final Fantasy 7 remake? Here's Final Fantasy. You want a rebuilt Shadow of the Colossus?
Mhm.
Here's just anything that anyone's ever like in a hidden chat room on the dark web been like, but what if they made it? And then they're like, all right, we're doing it. So you see the same thing again. The cryptic talk, and you see the sword and the gun arm, and you're like, oh my god, they're actually doing it. And then they redo it again where he flips off the train and there's Cloud, and you're like, okay, they're actually remaking this game. And then even then, this is 2017. This is
Mhm.
3 years ago. Then there's years of speculation. Is okay, well, like, is this the whole game? Are they gonna? Is this a faithful remake? Like, what are they doing with this? Well, now we've got it. Final Fantasy 7 remake. It's in people's houses. People are playing it right now. What I will say about it is it was fantastic. Like every second of that game, not only was not only honored the original game, but elevated it in a lot of ways, which is high praise.
Mhm.
This is going to lead into a criticism at some point, but
Okay.
like they've taken all of the things, all of the important memories that I had from that game of, boy, I gotta think now. What can I
So
say?
chapter, okay, if I need to put in context, so chapter 5, we just got done with the mission where Jessie went into the warehouse, like we visited her
Okay.
parents, and then the whole
Yep.
warehouse situation, and we fought Roche,
Yep.
Roche. So we're on a train that next morning going to do the second bombing run.
Okay.
So that's where we're at.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Um. So this gave us this like all of these memories of jumping off the train, going to the reactor, and it just kept all of that so well preserved. Like everything was exactly how I thought it would be. And like there were little bits where it was different, but like if you think about like you can see where they are in the original Final Fantasy 7 if you really picture it in your mind's eye.
Mhm.
You're like, "Oh, okay, this is the analog to this thing, and this is the analog to this thing. It all has a place and it makes sense, and it was like a joy to play because the actual gameplay of everything is absolutely, it takes a little getting used to, but I think they did a really great job
Mhm.
with the actual gameplay of Final Fantasy 7. What is interesting are the moments where they chose to tweak.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna give you a piece of I'm gonna give you one thing that I can talk about
Okay.
where they've made a change.
Yeah.
It is right in the very first bombing run, right?
Is this the Sephiroth stuff? Because he doesn't show up in the original for like a while, right?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that, they use Sephiroth very differently in this game too.
Okay.
But that's
Something
we're
different.
gonna
Gotcha. Sorry.
yeah. So during the initial bombing
Uh
run,
huh.
you get to the reactor, you plant the bomb,
Yeah.
Scorpion tank drops down, you fight it, you kill it,
Yep.
and then you escape, right?
Yep.
So in original Final Fantasy 7, you turn the corner, you run down the little catwalk after you get out of the reactor, place goes up, right?
Yeah.
So you, Avalanche, blew up the reactor.
Okay, I see where you're going. Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake completely recontextualizes that.
Ah,
Your bomb doesn't do shit.
right.
Like, it is Shinra's doing that the reactor exploded to the magnitude that it did.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, like, all of a sudden, what went from you performed a heinous act of terrorism became you were just trying to cripple the machine. They blew it up.
Mm.
So, like, that's subtle, but it's important
Yeah.
because it shows that maybe your Avalanche isn't as fringe like terrorist as they were in the original game, but it also shows the lengths that Shinra will go
Right.
to really mess things up.
Yeah, see, I really like
Oh,
that story element because that was like
yeah.
just how like after when they see the aftermath, they're like, "Oh, fuck, we did this"
Yeah.
type thing, and how
And
like they feel bad, but they're like, "Man, we gotta
that's
stick to it." Like I was like, "Oh, all right."
like that's a whole thing. Like,
Hmm.
and Jesse makes a couple of references where she goes, "I don't think I used that much explosive."
Yeah, like she even says on the moment I just talked about where we're going to the warehouse, like she had to
Yeah.
up the dosage from what the thing said, the instructions or whatever. She's like, I used a higher
Yeah.
dose. Like I wasn't even supposed to use that much. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I was like, oh fuck.
Because it puts a lot of weight onto the actions of the characters,
Yeah.
for what they know.
Right.
They think that they've done this horrible thing that's killed people.
Mm-hmm.
And like that adds a lot of weight onto the characters, which is interesting, on top of the fact that, you know, Shinra, from our perspective, because we know what's happening, of course, is just that much more evil. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
they're pretty evil to begin with, but like showing some of the machinations in the background and the lengths they're willing to go to complete their ends makes them just feel so much seedier. And the way that the new graphics engine has kind of changed things too is so interesting to see, where like, because you can move the camera, you can look up, there's the plate, you can look down, there's this. Like, it adds this extra weight to everything that's happening, because like in the original, you always had more of a top-down view. You very rarely saw the plate above you,
Mm-hmm.
but now when you can look around, like, it just feels so much more oppressive. Like, just the the little details they went to really tell the story just felt so on the nose. I think they did such a great job with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the one thing so as much as I love the game, I love every part of it. I think it's great. But one little nitpick I'm gonna have is something I don't know if you and I talked about Kingdom Hearts 3
We have
100 years
not, but
ago.
I've finished it, so
Okay.
you're good to go.
Okay. I'm not gonna get anything
Yeah,
super
yeah.
specific with Kingdom Hearts 3, but Kingdom Hearts 3 was directed by Tetsuya Nomura, same guy that did Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yep.
Tetsuya Nomura has a really good eye for scale and uh like location, and he can write these really fantastic scenarios, but he is a terrible writer, like writer of story. So all of the things that are his touches feel like they're ripped straight out of Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Now, you have seen the ghost things,
Yes. Yeah.
right? Okay. So that doesn't exist in original 7.
Oh, okay.
That's not a thing.
Okay.
But like, if you look at it from my perspective, knowing that's not an original 7,
Uh-huh.
it looks like it's ripped straight out of Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Like, it feels like it doesn't fit. And they go through great lengths to explain what those are and why
Uh-huh.
they exist, and that I won't get into, of course, because
Right.
that would be super spoiler territory.
Uh-huh.
Um, they feel weird, and it's not because they don't. There's a lot of things they added into the game that fit. So like, uh, the all the stuff that happens with Jesse,
Yep.
like the mission to go to Jesse's house,
Mm-hmm.
then to go to the warehouse to get the bomb.
Yeah.
That's not Final Fantasy VII.
No.
That's all new.
Okay.
That crazy dude on the motorcycle, Roche.
Yeah.
Roach, not a real character from Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
But can you see where he feels Kingdom Heartsy? Because he's
Just
like
yeah.
he's fucking his motorcycle. He's dancing around the goddamn streets.
Yeah.
Okay. Like he
It's
doesn't
Organization
feel like
13.
yes, he feels like he's from Organization 13, and his Keyblade is his motorcycle.
Yeah.
But he also has sex with it. Like that's what I mean by like when there's something that's new to the story of Final Fantasy VII, it feels like Tetsuya Nomura's like, let's Kingdom Hearts this up just a little bit.
Gotcha.
And like, I don't particularly like that's too fantastical. Everything about Final Fantasy VII makes sense and is grounded in like a gritty, real world way.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like all of the analogs with Mako energy and it's draining the earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that feels a lot like oil drilling. You know, there's an analog to it that makes sense. And everything about Final Fantasy VII I mean, short of the super fantastical stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
you have some of that, but like it all fits into place. And whenever he gets involved with something, it feels like it stops making as much sense.
Interesting. Okay.
I won't say that I hate it,
Mm-hmm. It's just different.
but it's different in a way that doesn't work as well.
Okay. Interesting.
That's where I'm gonna go with that.
Okay. Neat.
Like I'll be interested to hear when you finish it because the ending of Remake
Yeah.
is different.
Yeah, I hear there's some conversation talks, like I alluded
There,
to.
it's like the last hour and a half of that game is like, here's where things go off the rails, like in a weird way.
Gotcha. Because, yeah, I alluded to the Max playing it, and I want to watch his playthrough. Apparently, he's got some big, he calls it big brain, like threads and like how he's trying to figure, yeah, exactly, trying to figure something out. So I'm very interested to eventually, obviously, sit down and watch that just because even if it's this big, harebrained, like never gonna happen thing, I just like hearing when people pick up on these little things and you know.
Well, I could get into some weird shit if we were really getting into it,
right?
Because
Gotcha.
it sends a very clear message to people who have and have not played Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
By the end of that game, there is a message that was written on tablets from the top of a mountain and hauled down by Charlton Heston, and then that's what they say, and you're like, I gotcha. Tetsuya Nomura definitely went some places there. Did anyone else feel weird about stealing from her parents?
I only did when I saw her dad. Other than that, I was like, meh.
So those moments, so going back to the differences sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like moments like that where you go to Jesse's house. Her mom is this bubbly person, which totally fits with her character. Oh, I'm gonna make y'all the pizza special or whatever. Yeah. The Midgar special. And she's like, you need to go to the back door, and then you're gonna go in here, and my dad's gonna be in there. And then you like see the context from being in the room of like, oh, he worked in a Mako facility and he has Mako poisoning and this is what it does to a person. Like Mako is bad. You know, like that worked. All of it. Every bit of that worked.
Yeah.
All of the character building they did for everybody in Avalanche, your Jesse, your Biggs, and your Wedge, they made those characters much, much more fleshed out, and like you
Cool.
just never got a sense of who those three were
Mm-hmm.
in the original game.
Gotcha. Because like I like that we got Jesse's like backstory of why she's trying to do this type
Yeah,
thing.
like that's so cool because otherwise in Original 7, which I will tell you, when I finished Resident Evil 7 Remake, I said, well, I guess I'm going to go Platinum Resident Evil 7 now. So I downloaded Resident Evil 7, or Resident Evil, jeez, Final Fantasy 7.
Gotcha. Okay. It's all right.
Yeah, yeah, too many remakes and too many
Yep.
different franchises with the number 7. Um, After finishing Final Fantasy 7 Remake, I then said, well, I guess I'm going to go play Final Fantasy 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I re-downloaded it, played through the whole game, got the Platinum Trophy, like just really went for it.
Yeah.
And it was cool to see after having just gotten out of 7 Remake, being like, oh, this character actually existed in the other game. They just made him more prominent in Remake.
Mm.
Like that happened a couple times where I'm like, oh, here's a weird original character. Why is he here? What does he do? Only to find out when I replayed through 7, there's the guy. He's right there.
Gotcha. Okay.
He existed before. He just didn't matter.
Yeah.
Or was like a super throwaway character that like clearly didn't even stick with me because I didn't remember who it was at all.
Right.
So they did that a couple times, which I was pleasantly surprised about all of it. So I guess now I'm curious. I've talked a lot about Final Fantasy 7, but how are you like? What are your feelings on things? Like, how are you approaching it, not having any sort of like connection to that original game? Because everything I did
Mm-hmm.
was through a lens, and
Right.
there's no way it couldn't be.
Right.
So, like, I'm curious to know how you're seeing things
Mm-hmm.
without context.
Yeah. So I only played a very, like I said, I grazed the surface with original. I had a friend lend me their copy, and I was already, PS2 was my first console. I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
So when I played 7, I was like, I was a dumb kid. Oh, these are all polygonal crap. This looks like garbage. Blah. I didn't want to play it. So I don't know how far I really actually got into it. Like, I don't remember Bombing Run. I don't remember anything. I just remember running around as big bicep tricep Cloud, doing his thing. So I have
Just
no
clubs on his hands.
exactly. So I have no idea what story elements I actually hit upon. Obviously leading up to this, like you mentioned the announcements and stuff, I was excited because I know a lot of people love this game. So I was just kind of like happy that, hey, you're getting your thing again, kind of thing.
You feed off it.
Exactly. And I've always enjoyed Cloud's look as a character. I think I like his Advent Children look a little bit more. Not that I ever saw that movie or anything. I was just like, oh, you look fucking dope. And then my only experience with him and his personality was Kingdom Hearts, like seeing him in 1, seeing him in 2, and how he acts. Same with Tifa, and seeing these other Final Fantasy characters in the world is like, oh, okay, this person's from this and that, and whatever.
Yep.
So leading up to the actual release, I hadn't played any of the demos. I was just kind of like, I'll watch trailers here and there. I'll be like, oh, okay, Red 13's a character. Cool, I know him a little bit. I've seen pictures, and obviously Barrett, knowing him with the gun and stuff like that. So I like very minimal I knew about story, what was going to happen. I heard about the demo at E3 and the first Bombing Run, so I knew what to expect there. Playing the game, so I think I downloaded it. It must have been that launch weekend. Like, it wasn't maybe day 1, but it was at some point. I played for a few minutes because, like, I'll give it a try. Downloaded it. That opening scene you mentioned with the train, him jumping off. Just how they pan through the city. Like, this music doesn't even mean that much to me, but I still got some kind of, like, emotional, like, oh, this
Yep.
feels cool. Like, this is impactful. So the music got me right off the bat.
Yeah.
Just you flying into the city and the combat music. Like, I recognize that from...
I mean, that's iconic.
Yeah.
At this point.
I had played Final Fantasy X. Like, that was probably the most I played of a Final Fantasy besides Tactics, and I think it's a similar tune, if not the same, correct, in other Final Fantasies? The battle music, or no?
7 and 10 are pretty different.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I just had heard it before.
I mean, a lot of them have... There's like a formula, especially in the early Final Fantasies. There was a very... Like, there was the same baseline always through the original Final Fantasies.
Okay.
It's like that's how it always started.
Mm-hmm.
7 was kind of the first game to shirk that a little bit and kind of go its own way. So that just made it more iconic because it was the first Final Fantasy that didn't have the baseline. See, Jeff Briggs writing it. And I know exactly what it means.
So yeah, I really enjoyed that scene, and then getting to the spider fight, whatever you want to call it. That was fun, just like, because this game it doesn't do the turn-based thing like original does, which I have nothing against turn-based, but obviously this feels more action-y. So like,
sure,
it was fun. It was cool to do. And then I kind of took a break on it, just didn't hop back into it. But then I did, and I started back over because like, it's been a little time. I'll do it again. So did that. I saw the whole bombing thing that you talked about, and I mentioned before, like, that hit me like, oh, this is a cool way we're turning it, because I didn't know it was completely different. I just didn't know in general story-wise, because I knew we're terrorist group kind of thing. Like, I just assumed things were going to go bad. And then seeing this little twist of like, they're going to frame you, I was like, oh, okay. It made me go like question mark little thing above my head at first when he's like, okay, just do it. And then the guy hit it, and then all the lasers pop up, and I was like, why are we doing this? Okay. And then we get outside, and then seeing everybody's reaction, I was like, aha, okay, now I get it.
Well, and even to that real quick, like, what's weird is the result is the same in both games.
Okay.
Like, that place goes up and there's fire in the streets. Like, that, the result is the same. It's just by flipping the context for the player, where the player now knows that Shinra made it worse. I think that just kind of added a little weight to it in a way that it didn't have in the original game.
Gotcha. Do the characters still react the same, like, oh shit, we did this kind of thing, or are they they do, so they still kind of regret their actions? Okay, gotcha. Like,
they don't give it the same level of gravity, but I think that's more just a relic of its time more than anything.
Okay.
Like, there are definitely points where you can talk to characters and they're like, we did this, like, there's a moment, but it's not lended the weight like it is in Remake.
Gotcha. So yeah, in that first actual session that I was playing there, I think I stopped right as soon as you got out of the train and like got to the city where people were reacting. I took a little time in between before I picked it up again. And I played this past weekend. I played from that point up until where I am now in chapter 5. And I was just taking it in. I was like, yes, give me more. Just go going. And I planned on playing more, but I was just like, I was tired. I was like, yeah, I'm good. So the stuff with Aerith, I thought was interesting, the smoke monster things, because I was like, okay, maybe this has something to do with her, because I don't know much about her character either, besides obviously Kingdom Hearts. So I was like, all right, question mark. The way that Sephiroth was introduced, once again, only know from Kingdom Hearts, and I know he's a fuck. Just like impossible. So I was like, okay, cool character, interested to learn more what is actually going on with him. So I think so far, story-wise and how the gameplay is, I'm really enjoying it. I didn't think about it before, but obviously with you now bringing up the Kingdom Hearts type S characters that weren't involved, like, I can definitely see it now. I really dug those parts.
Which, yeah, like, they're not bad. It's just that I don't like the thing with the ghost things was weird to me because I'm like, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
how does this fit anything?
Mm-hmm.
And it's explained, but it feels Kingdom Heartsy,
Mm-hmm.
which again, it fits into the what Remake does.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
And even the same thing with Roche. Like, Roche is a soldier first class, same rank as what Cloud is.
Yeah.
So he's a incredibly strong soldier person. So like he fits. It's just the way he acts is so wildly. He's being flashy for no reason.
Yeah.
Like if you think about the Turks, if you think about Reno and Rude, have you run into them at all yet?
They've been in trailers, right? But no, I haven't run into them.
Okay, you're not familiar with Reno and Rude.
No. Is that the red-haired gentleman and the bald guy?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. When you get to them, what you're gonna notice is like they are cool, but it's not because they're like strip pole dancing off a helicopter, right? Like, you know, that they just are cool because they're strong characters.
Their presence, yeah.
Like that's the sort of thing that I like and I want out of this game series going forward. Is like I don't care that there's new characters. There should be new characters. The way they're doing things, that's gonna happen. But don't make it so when you like look at the existing characters and the new characters, they feel like they're from different worlds. Gotcha. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing that feels weird to me.
Okay. So yeah, the I think Roche specifically was what honestly I enjoyed. Like that whole motorcycle sequence.
Oh, I love the sequence.
Music kicked in and you're fighting him. I was like, oh my god, this is badass. And I think I texted Lady right after. I was like, I just got done with this epic motorcycle fight. This is sweet. So there was that, and then the whole warehouse sequence before he's involved, and then when he's involved, fighting him and fighting all the people. That felt like this is epic because you have all these people you're fending off with Wedge, with the other guy, blanking on it.
Biggs.
Thank you. Biggs and Wedge. The whole sequence there, and then summoning Ifrit for the first time. Like, Ifrit was the homie in advance, and he was so cool, and then seeing him here is like, oh, this is great. And I like how he just does his own thing, too. Like, that's awesome. Just kick some shit.
Exists as a party member and does his own thing and wrecks shop the whole time. It's great.
Yeah.
The way they do the summons is very smart. I like that a lot. It fits the gameplay really well, as opposed to just being a huge magic spell.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Everything's just felt like really engaging. Like, it's not something that feels like some games, like, it feels like, okay, I've been playing this for a while. Like, it hasn't felt like that. No. And I mentioned with the whole Jesse thing, like, I enjoyed learning more about this character, and like, I don't know if it's just me, I'm a big Jesse fan, but I was like, yeah, give me more. What do you got from her?
Well, this game has made me a Jesse fan. Like, Jesse is a character that you don't see a whole lot of after Midgar and the original, and I didn't really care because they didn't characterize her almost at all in the original game. So like now it's to the point where it's like there's the triangle. You've got Tifa, Aerith, and you've got Jesse now. Like, Jesse wasn't even a part of the conversation before. So like her character, all of her new characterization is great. I like Biggs. I like Wedge.
Yeah.
Like, all of them fit
for sure
just so well. Like they did such a good job of taking some of those ancillary characters that existed and giving you reasons that you should care about them. And giving them more agency in the story.
Mr. Sailor, what?
He likes Mr. Sailor Moon?
I'm confused. Jeff?
I am too. Explain yourself, Jeff.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's been a fun ride so far.
Oh, I know what he's talking about. He's talking. The voice actor for Barrett plays some character in
Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon
Oh, does he?
S, I think, or SS, one of the two.
Okay.
That's like just the polar opposite of Barrett.
Oh, is he?
It's pretty crazy. I didn't. Jeff is the one who pointed that out to me, and it was a mind like a real mind fuck for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, the only voice actor I recognize is Wedge. Like, it's not anybody I
Yeah,
know by name, but I like know the guy. I'm like, oh, it's that guy.
he has a role in what is it, Breaking Bad?
I don't know. I haven't seen
I
that.
think. I don't remember.
Yeah,
All,
but
all I know is that in like two of my group chats with some of my friends, they're like, I can't even look at him as Wedge. He's the character from
so and so or whatever.
whatever
Yeah.
property. Yeah, like I don't remember what it is exactly, but
But yeah,
yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
it's an incredible game. I would be very interested to hear specifically your thoughts at the end
Okay.
when you're done,
Okay.
because they're going to be very different from what I think and what like some of my friends who've also played Final Fantasy VII before.
Right.
Like I got into a like 2.5 hour conversation with just two friends, like not recorded, just like
Yeah.
people trying to make sense of their lives
Mm-hmm.
because of how things are different and how things are the same. It's it's a real wild ride.
Cool.
And what I'm going to tell you an interesting bit here too. The spot that you're at in chapter 5,
Yep.
if you would have taken that same amount of time and put it into the original Final Fantasy 7,
Yeah.
you would be done with Midgar.
Really. Wow.
Yeah.
Like I knew it was.
Midgar is short.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that short.
Like original Final Fantasy 7, you go on the initial bombing run,
Uh-huh.
you go back to the hideout, a little bit of dialogue, flashback with Cloud and Tifa making the promise,
Yeah.
and then the next morning you go to the next bombing run,
Okay.
and like that's it.
Huh.
After that bombing run, it's a couple other things that I won't talk about because you don't know about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like honestly, like the amount of time that you've put into the game already is enough to be out of Midgar.
Wow. Okay.
So they've super stretched
Yeah.
out the events of Midgar.
Yeah. Because obviously this game's only Midgar, and then they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that's all I know is like there's Midgar. There's stuff outside. I don't know what goes on outside, but there's outside stuff. You get on a chocobo, you do some chocobo races. I don't know. There's some shit
So,
like that.
do you know any of the big story beats from
So,
original Final Fantasy VII?
I mean, I guess the biggest, because there's no way you could have avoided it, but I
Okay.
know Aerith's fate. That's
Okay.
all. I don't know how specifically. I just know that thing happens.
Interesting.
I think it's Big Bad, but like I know there's a scene where he's coming out of this water pool where he's shirtless. I don't know if that's the same scene. I don't know, but I know her fate, so I know that. But other than that, no.
The other interesting thing I'm gonna put into your brain so that you're thinking about it as you're playing.
Okay.
At no point during original Final Fantasy VII do you ever see Sephiroth.
Wait, say that again.
At no point during the original Final Fantasy VII, while you're in Midgar,
Oh, okay.
do you see Sephiroth.
Right. Okay.
I may have left out the while you're in Midgar.
Okay, I was gonna say what?
He's not even in the game.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, I think I remember hearing people saying that was added, which
Yeah.
I kind of like.
The-
but obviously, nothing.
The thought process that I guess they were going with is when they were originally making 7, they wanted Sephiroth to feel kind of like Jaws.
Okay.
He was always present,
But you didn't see him all that much.
but you never always saw him. And when he showed up, he was doing something.
Gotcha.
He was eating the boat. He was pulling somebody underwater.
Gotcha.
Except for on this-
New character.
yeah, brand new. He's actually from Kingdom Hearts. They just
Yep.
loved him so much that they're like, let's put him in 7 Remake.
Yep.
Yeah, no, like that was how they wanted to treat him in the original game.
Okay.
And then for Remake, they're like, well, we can't not show Sephiroth throughout the entirety of the game. Like that would be weird. So they obviously threw him in, which you've already
experienced a little bit.
had the pleasure.
Yeah.
He's a scary guy.
Yeah. But I think after I finish it up, similar to what you did, I want to go back and play original. Like I've had it on my PS3 since they did that first announcement, and just oops, haven't played it. So I think I'll do that as well. But yeah, for sure we'll have to talk about it again. So it seems like we already got 2 topics planned out for our next one-on-one. We got Final Fantasy VII Remake, the talk, and then what was it, My Hero, or was it something else that we're gonna check out?
I mean, I gave you a long list. I hope you're gonna have to go back into the
True, all those amazed to follow up on. But cool.
That'll just be my standing topic for every time I swing by.
Check this out. Then give me your feedback.
Watch these.
Here's your homework. Come back to me when you're done.
Oh my god, you're gonna hate it when I'm on this show.
No.
God, I don't have this much time, Brett. Go away.
Oh boy. So I guess to close it out, is there anything? Are you excited for more of Remake in general?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like, knowing what I know, I'm ready for anything.
Okay. Ready for anything.
And I don't care what it is. I don't like whatever they do from here. I'm here for it. And I'm as ready as I'm ever gonna be.
All right. Cool.
Sounds like they're gonna be doing some weird stuff with how they're releasing that game going forward.
Yeah.
They're already a good chunk of the way into the next one, apparently.
Okay, that's good.
They've also said that like they may release like smaller pieces just so they can like keep putting stuff out.
Okay.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that looks like at all, but that's kind of what they made it sound like in a Famitsu interview or something that I read.
Okay. Cool. Well, everybody, this has been another episode of the Wait What We Talking About podcast, episode 68. I hope you guys had a good time with the podcast today. Remember, you can catch it live over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011 every first and third Saturday of the month, unless we pre-record. But you can check it out, join in the chat like Jeff and Lee did today. We'd love to have you guys in on the conversation with us. Just makes it more fun, more things to talk about. If you can't catch it live, you can always catch it over on youtube.com or SoundCloud. Search Enigma911, and it's put over there the following Friday as one big video and MP3 for your amusement. If you ever have a topic for us to discuss, just put it in the comment section down below, and we'll try our best to get to it as well. Remember, guys, you can get all of your merch over there at the merch store. You can get all of your swag, t-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand, support us. It would be greatly appreciated. And then last but not least, remember, guys, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, you get one free Twitch sub every month. The only bad thing is you have to resub on your own manually, but you can give it to cool creators like me, Brent, or Jeff. Support us, help us out. Makes us feel good and all warm inside, but you should go do that. If you're not using your sub, what are you doing? You're wasting Amazon. Well, you're wasting your money and just having Amazon hold on to it, so don't do that. They have enough, as Lady said.
Make Jeff Bezos pay for our lunches.
There you go. That's it. Brent, thank you for being on the show once again today. I do appreciate it.
Anytime. I had a blast.
Awesome. So I got my homework, and we'll figure out when we're getting Brent back on the show to talk about those things. So stay tuned, everybody. And once again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.